Genetic testing for schizophrenia. Schizophrenia is a mental disorder that causes people to suffer from various disturbances in their cognitive, behavioral, and perceptual abilities. Even though this disorder is extremely rare, affecting only about 1% of the world's population, it is important to continue researching the various causes in order to prevent more cases from arising. There is a wide variety of side effects that people with schizophrenia can experience, including effects on one's behavior, cognitive recognition, and mood. There are some cases where people experience severe symptoms causing their life to be substantially disrupted. Schizophrenia has also been found to affect T cells, cells responsible for assisting the immune system by exhibiting a lower response to stimuli. This illness is caused by both environmental and genetic factors. However, genetics tends to outweigh environment by contributing up to 80%. Due to the strong influence of genetics on the inheritance of the disease, our team strives to pinpoint the gene or genes responsible for the cases of schizophrenia. Schizophrenia does not follow a simple recessive dominant trait inheritance pattern, so it is very challenging to see when it will be inherited. The most clear hypothesis for the inheritance of schizophrenia poses that the result of a polygenetic mechanism, a few or a larger number of interacting genes, interact with non-genetic factors to cause schizophrenia. There have been over 100 genes discovered that possibly may cause schizophrenia through SNPs. These genes include NRG1, DTNBP1, and RGS4. Even though it is very helpful that these genes have been discovered, it still does not give an exact list of the genes that will positively cause schizophrenia. And even though many of the genes are found in the nervous system, there is still a lack of information, causing no one to truly understand the relationship between genetic and environmental causes of schizophrenia, because there are so many variations in genes that may possibly cause this mental disorder. A SNP chip is a microarray with many spots allowing someone to test for certain variations in someone's DNA. Since there are over 20,000 variations that can possibly lead to schizophrenia, the SNP chip test must include thousands of genetic variations. By cross-comparing different patients' tests, it will allow the researcher to find common variations and possibly identify variations that have a higher probability of causing schizophrenia. Different versions of the gene, such as CAC-NA1C, are associated with schizophrenia. Different versions of the gene, such as CAC-NA1C, are associated with the schizophrenia. Two SNP variations believed to be some of the best indicators of schizophrenia are the RS708-5104 and RS100-6737 variations. CAC-NA1C increases the risk of developing many disorders, including schizophrenia. It does make sense because schizophrenia has so many variations and researchers are confused as to what gene variations actually cause it, so every single variation is important to consider. Since there is not a lot of information regarding the causes of schizophrenia, it is crucial that people suffering from this disorder have their DNA tested so that researchers can pull together correlating information and hopefully find which variations cause the disease. With current research, there is no way to prevent inheriting schizophrenia because there are so many possible variations that may cause the disease, so this is the main reason why it is crucial and very beneficial to get tested. Our SNP chip includes thousands of genetic variations, making it a great source for potential groundbreaking discoveries. Currently, there are limited known diseases causing this mutation. However, throughout the years, we should see an increase in known diseases. The cost of genetic coding is another drawback. Although, as technology improves, we should see the cost decrease. Another limitation is just because there is coding for a certain gene that causes a disease does not mean that we can cure or completely prevent that person from getting that disease. Similarly, if a person gets genetic coding and does not have a gene that causes a certain disease, it does not mean that they are completely immune to getting that disease. Other factors such as environment can contribute to contracting a disease. Ethics has raised many questions concerning genetic testing, especially when it comes to those who cannot give verbal consent, such as babies or a fetus. If for babies, the question is, should the parent be able to make the decision now, or should they wait until the baby has become an adult? Another thing that raises concern is how private the results of the tests will be. Testing positive to a certain disease or disorder can put families in a very high-stress situation. Also, if insurance companies saw that someone tested positive for something that is very likely to kill them, they will be more likely to increase that person's rates. How ethical the genetic test really depends on the person or family that decides to go through the genetic testing process.